Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. This episode is brought to you by Nutrena. I'd highly recommend you check out the premium Safe Choice products from our friends at Nutrena Feeds. After all, Safe Choice horse feeds pioneered the controlled starch market to begin with. They're the right choice to keep the horses you love happy and healthy, while special nutrition technology Top-Line Balance builds and strengthens their top line. Go ahead and visit NutrenaWorld.com to find a dealer near you. We feature a special guest on this episode and would like to thank Jen Mellace, Dressage Today Online's content director, for being a part of this episode. Thanks for being with us, Jen. Can you tell us a little bit about your horse background and life prior to Dressage Today Online?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I grew up riding. My parents paid for my first 10 lessons, and then after that realized that this was a hobby that they couldn't afford. So like most kids, I became a working student and worked every spare minute I could for lessons. So I pretty much started, I guess I've been riding for close to 40 years now. And grew up riding mostly hunters and all through school, all through college. And then the year I graduated college, I bought my first horse. I graduated in May and bought my first horse in June. So it didn't take long. My focus originally had been I wanted to go into wine management. And when I was a working student at this farm in New Jersey, I spoke to a big sale barn, and she said, keep horses a hobby and find something else to do. And so I chose to go to school for journalism. And so that's how I ended up eventually at Dressage Today magazine. I went to school for journalism, and I had worked for actually an advertising agency that handled a lot of equine products. For a number of years, I was an account executive, and then went into the publishing industry outside of the equine world. I worked for a regional publication for a number of years in Frederick, Maryland, before eventually coming back to the industry and landing as an assistant editor with Dressage Today. And I was with the magazine for a number of years, and Patty Lasco was the editor, and when she left, I took over as the editor. So I had been with the magazine for 10 years. So
wow.
Yeah,
quite a long time. And I'm sure that this experience affects how you run Dressage Today Online, since the main point of Dressage Today's print magazine was to bring exceptional dressage content to riders. How did working on the print side help you enhance the Dressage Today Online program? For
sure. We worked with a ton of experts, obviously, on the print side of the magazine and on a lot of various different topics that crossed over all the different levels in dressage. So when I knew that I'd be taking over the content as content director for Dressage Today Online, I called upon a lot of the knowledge that I had from working on the magazine, the different content that we used in the magazine, the experts that we used in the magazine, and knew that I could pull upon all of that years of content that I could use with for Dressage Today Online. The magazine, I think it was going to be going into its 25th year. So wow. That's a ton of content that we had. And so I knew that there was a lot there that I could draw upon and turn it into video. Take what we have done in the magazine for all those years and take what was written word and put it into video.
Yeah, and kind of going into the next question, Dressage Today Online is all about video. Can you explain to us what it actually is and how it helps riders?
Sure, sure. There's more than 1,700 videos on the on Dressage Today Online.com, and a lot of those videos that have been done through the years are clinic coverage with a lot of top experts in the sport, trainers, judges, and these videos are riders of every level. So subscribers can go in, and the website is broken down by level, and you could look by trainer, by level, by breed, by movement. So riders of any level can go into the website and choose what it is they wish to see. What we're doing now today, in addition to clinic coverage, we're continuing that. But what we're also looking to do with new content is have very specific training videos available to people. So, for instance, if we have a story, recently we worked with George Williams, who is the USDF president, but also, a top trainer in the sport. We had done an article with him years ago called The Kindergarten Exercises that helped people, kind of the entry level dressage rider, kind of get step-by-step process of what they can do to work through a session in their with their dressage horse. And so we had this article that he had done years ago that was quite popular with folks. What we did is we went back to George, and we then turned that step-by-step article into a step-by-step video. And so it's a series of videos that people can come in and watch, part 1, part 2, part 3, and get the information. It's basically a lesson in a video that they can watch and then go back to the barn and practice that either, on their own or with their trainer.
Wow, that's really impressive, and it sounds really beneficial for riders. And it also seems like Dressage Today Online is really trying to be where riders need them, and in a format that's easy for riders to access. How important is it to Dressage Today Online to offer so many different streaming types and make the lessons more accessible for riders?
That is the cool thing about Dressage Today Online, is that folks can, if they're home, they can watch it on their television. They can use, whether it's the Roku or Apple TV, whatever they have, they can log into their account and watch it right on their television screen at home in their living room. They also have access to use it on their laptop. So if they're traveling or, are at a location where they just have their laptop, they have it there, as well as their mobile devices. So they can log in to their account on their phone or on their tablet as well. And what's really cool about the platform is that if you're watching a series of videos and you don't want to go in and try and figure out where you were in that lesson. If you're watching, a half an hour video, it will, if you pause that video at home on your television, and then later on you're out at the barn and you want to pick up where you left off on either a tablet or your cell phone, it picks up immediately where you were. So you don't have to go searching for it, which is a pretty cool feature. And you also have the opportunity to save it to your favorites. So you don't have to go searching, throughout the site, through all the videos for something specific. If you want to create a list that is, your favorite trainers or your favorite videos that you've watched, you have that ability to do that.
Yeah, and really allowing riders to kind of customize their own plans and to stay on track. That sounds really beneficial as a rider. I would really appreciate something like that. Another great aspect is that Dressage Today Online isn't just for the elite athlete. Any skilled rider can access it and then train with some of the best dressage riders and trainers in the world. Can you give us an overview on the topics and trainers available?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to be an upper level rider to benefit from this site. It is for riders of all levels. It's, if you're just coming into dressage, or, you're an event rider who just wants to, start looking into your dressage training. There's videos in there for every level. We work with trainers who are in the States, well-known trainers such as Stefan Peters. We've got George Williams in there. We've got Felicitas von Neumann-Cosel, Nicholas Fife. We've got top trainers in there. We've also got judges. Janet Foy just recently did a series with us on the 2019 dressage tests, where it was a clinic or a symposium that she did, but we were able to film, each level. So she started at training level and went up all the way through fourth level, discussing the various tests and the changes for the new tests, and helped the riders ride through each of the movements and gave them, expert advice. So we've got folks like that on there. We talk about, there's a section there for young horses. So if we have somebody that's working with young horses, they can go in and pull up information about how to work with a young horse, either in hand or under saddle, or starting a young horse. We also, the other nice thing that we have available is we are partners with USDF, and we have a special section for USDF where if they need credits for their ongoing training, they can get that through Dressage Today Online. So that's another really neat feature that we offer.
Wow, yeah, that's a great resource. And yeah, you get to work with all of these incredible riders and trainers. What is it like to interact with the pros like that? And how do you select who and what gets featured?
Sure. Yeah, it is a lot of fun with the magazine. I definitely had the opportunity to work with some of these people, but typically it was remotely, because we worked with a lot of writers who would do the story with the trainer, or we would work through email or phone calls. And now that we're doing video, it's quite fun for us, because we get to be on site with them and collaborate with them on these videos that are articles that we have done with them in the past that we are now turning into training videos. And it's a really, really neat experience so far. We have done our most recent new releases. We did a series on the training scale with Felicitas von Neumann-Cosel. I mentioned that we had gone back, done a story with George Williams, a video series based on a story from George Williams. We have some new releases coming out within the next few weeks with David Marcus and Nicholas Fife of Marcus Fife Dressage. They have both been contributors to the magazine over the years, and now we were able to work with them on doing the videos as well. Suzanne von Dietz, who has been a longtime contributor to Dressage Today for our clinic series, which actually, when Dressage Today magazine went away, some of our content was put into Practical Horseman magazine, and the clinic series with Suzanne von Dietz was one of those that was so well loved that Practical Horseman now has that. So we've gone ahead and done some video with Suzanne. So once again, taking what has always been the written word and putting it into video so people can actually see the trainer work with riders or actually ride. I think it really helps give people another part of the story. It's one thing to see it in words and to see still pictures, but then to put it into video where somebody can actually watch the nuances of a ride and hear how a trainer step by step is helping somebody through a problem, or work on a new movement, whether it's a Grand Prix movement or just a very basic introductory dressage movement. I think it's just really beneficial to people to see it in moving pictures versus a still.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope that answered the question.
That was a great answer. And I know that I appreciate watching videos and learning from them. And it also just helps you relate a little bit more to that trainer or that rider. You're all riders at the end of the day. So I think that's really neat. You mentioned you're adding a lot of new content to the ever-growing video library, but there's also a couple really interesting and neat customer care perks that I saw on Dressage Today Online site, especially that custom playlist. Can you kind of give us a little bit of information on that custom playlist?
Yeah. So we have basically a concierge person Crystal Forsyth, who is a dressage trainer herself. And she is our customer care person who is able to put together a custom playlist based on what a subscriber is looking for. So if you subscribe today and you're a first level rider and you don't have time to go through the entire library of videos that we have, and you are working on something very specific or have a trainer that you want to learn from, we have everything broken down by trainer and by level. If you want somebody to help guide you to very specific videos, that's what Crystal can do. She can put together a very custom playlist based on your wishes and send that directly to you. So basically, she takes care of the legwork for you based on your wants and needs of what you're looking for. So it's a pretty cool feature, and Crystal is wonderful.
That sounds awesome. I want to try that. What other benefits can members expect when they join Dressage Today Online?
We are releasing new videos every week, so they can anticipate having new footage every week. We offer a newsletter that folks can sign up for, which addresses the new releases. And in addition to that, it provides archive of all the articles that we've done over the almost 25 years that we were being published. We have all those articles available to subscribers. And so each week when we do the newsletter, which releases the new video series, whichever series it is, we also tie in some of the articles that we have done, not only in the past, but articles that we are continuing to create, because we're continuing to still create new content. So we are providing subscribers with that content in the written word as well as a video, and they'll start to see, what we are doing is combining the connection. We're making the connection between the video and the written articles, so people can get a real full look at a specific movement or a specific level or whatever it is that we're releasing that week. In addition, we send out another release on Fridays. We kind of go back into our video archives and we kind of do like a flashback Friday and pull from some of the really fun videos that have been really popular on Dressage Today Online over the years. So it's pulling up older footage that might have, been forgotten or, somebody hasn't seen that's new to Dressage Today Online. We're re-releasing those videos as well. And, if there's anything that anybody ever wants to learn about or has questions, or if they want to see something, a different trainer or something that we haven't done on the site, we are always open to suggestions. So folks can either contact Crystal or certainly contact me directly if they have any thoughts on what they'd like to see. We're definitely open to that. We have a really vibrant social media presence as well, on Facebook and Instagram. So we connect with people there and love to hear from people about what they want to see.
Can you give us any insight on who or what topics might be coming next for Dressage Today Online?
We have already done some filming. I believe I had mentioned earlier with Nicholas Fife, David Marcus. We have a bunch of new stuff from Suzanne Von Dietz that we're going to be releasing in the coming months. We also are going to be working with Charles DeComfy. He's going to be doing a clinic. He's going to be new to the site too. We don't have any footage coverage or any coverage from Charles. So he has agreed to work with us, and we're going to be doing some filming of some of his clinics. So we're really excited about that. Another new person coming to the site, we are going to be filming Dorothy Schneider. She's a German Olympian who is going to be doing her very first symposium in the United States in October, and we will be covering that. So that will be coming soon as well. We're going to be doing a bidding video in the coming months. And we're also working with Beth Baumert, who was Dressage Today's technical editor for years and years. She has published a book, and we are going to be doing putting some of her book into video. So that's really excited. We've started filming some of that with Beth over when we were down in Florida this past winter, and we're going to be continuing that as well. We have some really exciting things lined up.
Yeah, I'll say quite the full plate. It's really cool though, and yeah, keeping it relevant and adding new content is ideal. So that's all I have. Jen, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm just really excited to be part of your podcast, and I hope that people will come check us out. We're really excited about all the new content and just love to hear from people. So thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Active Interest Media and the Equine Network.